All right, what's up, guys? VV back with another video. And in today's video, we're going to be checking out quite a few different deck lists today. We're going to go through 4 different tournaments that have already happened over here in the West for OP-06. And we're going to, excuse me, we're going to kind of take a look at what's doing well and, you know, winning tournaments and getting in top 8, because there's some pretty interesting results we've seen so far now. So that's what today's video is going to be. We're going to be checking out some results on some results and some deck lists on OnePieceTopDecks.com and EggmanEvents.com. So let's go ahead and just dive straight into it. Front and center here, you see him, Edward Newgate, already winning tournaments in OP-06 without a single card from OP-06. And we will look at this list in just a second, guys. But first, I want to go over this tournament here. This is one that happened over, you know, in the Oceania region. Look at how many different leaders made it in this top 8, and especially in the top 16. Edward Newgate first place, Red Purple Law second place, Moria and Reiju third and fourth. I don't know which one's which. Then you get a Sakazuki deck, you know, so going into the top 8, you have Sakazuki, Katakuri, another Reiju, another Law, and then rounding out the top 16, you've got what, 2 Yamatos, another Katakuri, Perona, and another Sakazuki. Or excuse me, and then a Gecko Mori down here and a Katakuri. So guys, just wild, right? Just like look at excuse me, look at what all's going on here. And even down here, here's a 500 player tournament. Here you go. Now this one's not as diverse. We got Gecko Moria, Reiju, and some Sakazukis, but it only shows first place and then some top 8s. But we'll go into more detail in just a second on some of these lists. So first and foremost, we got to check out Edward Newgate, of course. Now there's not a whole lot to check out. I'm not going to lie. Like this is your standard OP-05 at Edward Newgate, not OP-06. Even though it's winning in OP-06, this is just an OP-05 version of Edward Newgate, because this is the only card they really added to the deck, was the Nico Robin. They can pop the super annoying blockers like Rebecca. You know, any of the 1K blockers, the 1-cost 1K blockers, or any kind of 0 power blockers. And it also, I should mention, it also can help you take out a card like Shirahoshi that's just super annoying against yellow, because you don't want to use a 5-cost removal type of effect on them. But if you can just pop it with a 1-cost card, you know, that's really good, because then they can't do recycle tricks with their Katakuri. But other than that, guys, I mean, look at what you get here. It's a pretty nice blend of Straw Hat and Whitebeard Pirates. Your leader's beaten in for 6 every turn. You've got a 5-cost rusher here, a 7-cost rusher, a 6-cost rusher, and then tons and tons of defensive elements here. 4 Sanjis, 4 Josus. This can have rush later in the game too. Pause if you don't know what this does. 4 Makino. 4 Marco as a blocker that could just keep coming back and keep coming back once you're down to 2 or less life, by the way. And then 8 events down here, 4 Bad Beams, 3 guard points, and a Bad Manners Kick Course. Yeah, this deck, we already know what this deck is, right? But here it is again, winning first place in OP-06 with not even a single card from OP-06. That's how powerful this deck was back in the day, guys. just incredibly powerful. Okay, so there's Newgate. Now the next one I want to look at, I'm way more excited to talk about, is Red Purple Law. Guys, this list here in particular is identical to my list, minus 3 cards. There are 3 cards that are different. I don't run the 3 2K counter Buena Fiestas. I just put in, notice he has 2 of the Kamazo 2K counters and 3 of Otama. He literally just took 1 from Otama, 2 from Kamazo, and made him into 3 Buena Fiestas for a little extra utility. That's fine. I would just prefer to have the bigger bodies in Kamazo and the cost reduction in Otama. And then the one other thing that I do differently for my list, every single other card is, I think, identical, if I'm not mistaken, is I take out the Fire Fist, excuse me, because this is a 2-cost minus 4,000 power, and I just run the 4 Raise Max. He's only running 2, so he's running 2 Raise Max and 2 of the Fire Fist. I think this one's just a little bit better in my personal opinion, because it's a, you know, it's a 1-cost minus 3,000, and most cards you have to deal with are 6Ks or less. I'm just saying. Yes, there are a few 7,000 annoying cards, 7,000 power annoying cards out there, and this is better against that for sure. And it pops a 0 power card. Like, you know, there are some benefits to this card for sure, and it's an actual trigger effect. You know, that's the only trigger effect that they're running, and it's one more than I'm running because I don't run any. So I do understand why they're running this card. It's very strong, but I'm just saying. Very, very excited to see this list doing well, getting 2nd place at a 500-player tournament. Just incredible. But yeah, very, very, very excited to see this. And it makes me want to play this as soon as possible. After that, though, we've got, we're going to just kind of breeze through the rest of these. You got a mono black deck in Gecko Moria. We know what this deck does. I just want to mention that they're running 4 Ice Age, 4 Great Eruptions. I think that's pretty solid because Absalom and Lucci, as long as you have cost reducers, they're going to carry you through the game. They're just going to remove every single card that can be removed on the board. So that's just incredible. Everything else is pretty standard here. Running the 2 Helm Mapos, counter out early with these, getting back later with Gecko Moria and a Lucci to pop something big, combo with Great Eruption, Ice Age. You guys know what's going on here. Okay, next up is Reiju. It's a blurple deck, blue-purple, but it's really mono-purple, as you can see here. It just runs a few 2K counters that are blue that give a little bit of extra utility. But this deck is very solid, especially in the right, in the right person's hands, like with the right pilot, I'm saying. Very, very strong deck into the format. I've heard a lot of people, I think a lot of people are sleeping on this deck, by the way, like Blurple Reiju. Excuse me. And I think they're probably saying it because of Red-Purple Law. And I get that. Red-Purple Law is a very hard counter to this deck. The only way Reiju can win this, because I've done a lot of testing on the sim, and the only time I ever lost to a Reiju player as Red-Purple Law in my probably 20 games against them, 15 games against them, they somehow were able to match my Dawn, reduction, however you want to say that. Like I wasn't losing Dawn fast enough because I was trying to play efficiently by actually getting the extra Dawn back every single turn from whether it be the Shashkin Penguin card or the 5-cost Law, and they were actually able to match me where it's like, oh, okay, next time I just won't let that happen kind of thing. So I do understand that it is a hard counter to Red-Purple Law is a hard counter to Reiju. But I do think other than Red-Purple Law, I think Reiju plays very well into most other decks. Sakazuki popping up on here. I'll just walk through the list real quick. Y'all can pause somewhere if you actually want to know, if you want to put this deck together. Notice they are running the puddings. Everything else is pretty much the same, guys. So again, go to OnePieceTopDecks.com if you want to get that list for yourself. Same thing with Katakuri here. It just runs like the full Big Mom package up here, and then it has a lot of supporting cards from all the other super busted yellow cards that are out there. And I don't mean busted broken, guys. Don't jump on me for that. I'm just saying that they're super powerful cards. Another Reiju, another Law. And then we got to check out Yamato and Perona, and we'll be done with this one. We'll be done with this part. Today's video probably won't be too long. But green-yellow Yamato. This is like a full Land of Water package outside of the Onami and the Hody Jones. And I guess these are Sky Island down here, these events. But you guys get my point. This is basically... And look at 4 Olins. 4 Olin in this deck. So you can set these with your Hiyori. You can play these out for 7 Dawn and then put it back on later when you're down to 1 life with your Momonosuke, because this can put any Land of Wano card on top of your life outside of Kazuki, Momonosuke, outside of himself. I'm saying. So really good stuff here. And then lastly, Perona, we'll move on from here. So Perona, nothing too special here. This is mainly a Navy package. Of course, with a little bit of Don Quixote Pirates, extra pizzazz added to it. I like the Brooks. Brooks a really solid card. Pause this and read it if you don't know what it does. That's going to help you get around the Borsalinos and the super annoying cards you can't normally KO. Doflamingo's going to lock everyone down late game, and early game you're gonna rest. You're going to rest any of their cards early game, like their 1 through 4 cost cards, and then you're going to pop them with X-Drakes and Ryumas. That's just how it goes. That's how this deck works. And then, like I said, then it transitions into the late game with Gecko Moria and Doflamingo. So super powerful, really solid deck. I'm just really happy to see this much variance in the top 8 and the top 16, guys. Red deck, purple deck. I'm going to call Reiju a purple deck, guys. I'm sorry. It's basically purple. Red and purple with Law. That one's a pretty big mix. Black with Moria, black with Sakazuki, yellow Katakuri. Even red, like I said, with Newgate. The only deck that there isn't really just a hardcore representation of just yet is blue. But I think we're going to get that in OP-07. I'm sorry, guys. I know that's a little ways away, but you guys know what I mean. Okay, so that's it for that specific tournament we spent a little bit of time on. Now going over to eggmanevents.com, we're going to go over some of the results from, basically the first week of results for OP-06, the first wave of them. Real quick, this is just some deck lists that Eggman recommends. So if you want to check out what he's running, by all means, go over there. I always love to plug other YouTubers and stuff, other content creators. It's just one of those things I like to just keep the community nice and healthy and spread the love, so to speak. I've said that before, but y'all know what I mean by that. I don't mean to be weird. but yeah, he's got a lot of different tutorials on here and what decks he runs. But we're not going to go over that in today's video. We're going to look at these other 4 tournaments. And at the time of me recording this video, guys, let me see what the date is. It is March 24th, so 324. Look at this, 318, 320, 323, and 324. This was, I think all these tournaments are like a day before when they're posted, and then he posts them the next day, basically, if I'm understanding that correctly. But this one here, 318-24. This is a Pro Play Games event. This was a 250-player tournament, and this one had 2 Sakazukis in first and second place, 2 Katakuris in third and fifth, and then Gecko Moria in fourth. And then you got Yamato, Sakazuki, Gecko Moria, and Katakuri. So this one, not as diverse as the last tournament we looked at, but I know that Cody Angelob's a really good player. I have seen his name popping up all over the place. He was in a tournament me and Joey did a commentating thing for, and he's a really good player. I see his name pop up everywhere. Congrats to him for first place. And has him. I wonder if this is the guy at my locals. I haven't even got to meet him yet because he usually only goes to big tournaments. But I believe this is the guy from my locals. I'll have to ask Joey about that. Seems like a really cool guy, very solid player, and I know he does well at these big tournaments. But, other than that, we're seeing, Sakazuki, blue, black, yellow, Katakuri, mono, black, Moria, green, yellow, Yamato. Pretty good there. But once we move on from there into OP0, or into the other tournaments, again, it just kind of, it's like it spreads out more and more. We get more and more options popping in here. Look at this. Zoro in this one, Yamato in the top 8, Moria, Sakazuki, Katakuri, Sakazuki, Gecko Moria. That's not bad, right? Like, look at the spread of the top 16 guys over here on the left. Like, all the way down here. Look at this. Blue, black, yellow, green, blue, purple, green, black, red, purple, I think. Yeah, ST10, red, purple, law. Really good stuff there. Gecko Moria won that one. Sakazuki won the first one we just looked at. Hang on one second. Yeah, this one was Sakazuki. Oh, one more thing I want to look at the one we just looked at. So this was just a 128 player tournament. But good result there from Gecko Moria. Then the TAC Games Oceania Online Regional. This is the one we were looking at the beginning of the video where Edward Newgate won. But again, look at this top 8 split, guys. This is crazy. Newgate, Red Purple Law, Moria, Reiju, Sakazuki, Katakuri, Reiju, Red Purple Law, Yamato. Or that was top 9, I guess. But still, that's just incredible. Just awesome. Awesome to see that kind of variance in the game. Okay, in the meta. And then finally, oh yeah, let me see how many players was that the TAC one. That one's 487. And then the most recent one, I think this one happened yesterday, if I'm not mistaken. Yesterday at the time you're recording this video. This was a 500-player tournament as well. Gecko Moria got the top 5 spots. Okay, and then Vinsmoke, Reiju, Gecko Moria, Katakuri, Uda, ST11 Uda. Oh, that's mono green Uda, right? Let me see. Check that out. That's really cool how Eggman's got his website hooked up now, where if you click the list, it goes straight to like some type of in-house, deck builder engine. Very, very cool. Let me see. Go back. There we go. So green Uda getting into the top 10 there, and then a Sakazuki. So pretty cool stuff. And I guess that's how I'll leave this video off. Today, like I said, today's probably not going to be a super long video or anything. Well, I said that. Okay, it's almost 15 minutes long. Sorry, guys. But as you can see, the game looks like it's in a pretty decent spot. I'm pretty excited to see how things go here. These pie charts kind of give a great example. This TAC Oceania one was so incredibly all over the place. I was very excited to see those kind of results, and see Newgate pop back up. Wow, just crazy. But yeah, you guys tell me what y'all think down in the comment section below. One more thing I want to talk about before we end it is, I just got to keep you guys updated. April 19th, we're going to get a new black-yellow leader. You guys know that's my color. I've been playing black-yellow Linlin basically since it popped in OP-03. And then I'm also going to get access to this red-yellow leader. I cannot wait, guys. I do always have to keep y'all updated on some of this other stuff, too. Blue-yellow Ace is going to be good, too, but I think he needs one more set to fully, be, like, in a better tier than he's in, because I think he needs a few cards from OP-07 and maybe EB-01. Okay, well, that's it, guys. Let me go back. We'll leave it on that picture of good old Edward Newgate. Still dominant, even in OP-06, without a single card changed. He just won't die, right? He just won't go away. But you guys tell me what y'all think in the comment section below about this meta, about OP-06 in general. Are you looking forward to it, or are you more looking forward to OP-07? Do you miss OP-05? Y'all just tell me where you're at. All right, guys. I hope y'all enjoyed. Please do not forget to like and subscribe. And until next time, peace.